The Paramount era has not been great. I don't want to sound like a spoiled UFC fan because I probably am, but I miss ESPN, man. I think a lot of fans agree with me, and I think now is kind of the time to talk about that. Maybe we're not saved from ESPN, just under new management. Now the Paramount like era has been decent in terms of what we've gained as fans. Obviously, we've gotten a lot more media in some sense. We have a back catalog of fights that we're able to watch. We have a cheaper subscription. All great things, but that doesn't mean we can't nitpick what's been going on. One of the biggest things that people are talking about is the card value, like the White House being really underwhelming, Jones. And then what I'm really going on about this video is the technical errors. So months ago, before the Paramount deal started, I think during the 6-week break, I discussed how Paramount might be bad for us in some ways because they have a track record of having technical difficulties with other streaming services, other live events, and there's been other fan bases very upset with Paramount and their streaming quality. And I feel like us as UFC's fans are kind of starting to find that out. Um, I couldn't find any exact videos because obviously a lot of it was copyrighted and people can't post that stuff; it'll get taken down. But as you can see, big accounts, Ariel Helwani, he has me blocked. That's hilarious. Spinning back fist during 326 and during every card we've had within the Paramount era, there's been significant lag, blackouts. Even during a fight, the lighting over the cage like dimmed and came back up. And as a fighter, like that's got to confuse you. You got to go like, am I having an aneurysm from something I took from this fight? You got to worry about that, and that's not professional at all. We really never had huge problems with ESPN, and the ones that we did, Dana was on their ass immediately. A lot of times there was technical difficulties, but it wasn't it wasn't as much during fights. But with Paramount, in the middle of fights, we're having cameras facing angry guys in the crowd that they're supposed to be cage side. We're having the screen just become like layered with lag for minutes on end during fights. It's very hard to watch fights. It's very hard to see exchanges and keep up with what's going on. And I'm worried. Also, the consistency of some of the promo. I mean, even the fighters themselves have had problems with it. Holloway here, I'll let him take it away, talking about how many times they have to face off.
We got to do all that face off, that Paramount face off with each other now, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why. I'm going to be facing off with this guy for like 3-4 times before the actual fight now.
We're going to do that one more time.
They make them do it multiple times, stare off for 10, 15 seconds during these promos. And that's got to be awkward, especially if they're going to try to make a fight like Hamzat versus Strickland. I mean, they're not getting nose to nose without getting into it. So this is, it's kind of an unrealistic promo. I mean, just do the face off at the weigh-ins. You don't have to do all this promo where they stand there for 30 seconds. I mean, some of these matchups really are bad blood and they hate each other. And I don't see how you're going to comfortably promote that. I think this puts strain on the fighters. This puts stress on them mentally for fight week. And it just makes the whole process that is the media of fight week already more unbearable than fighters have said it is. So not only do we have technical errors that affect our enjoyment and consumption of the sport as fans, the fighters themselves have to deal with a lot more when it comes to this technical stuff. Paramount likes to do these fancy shoot-around shots where they get every angle possible. And it takes these fighters, hours doing multiple face-off, annoying them, facing off with their opponent. If there's already bad blood there, who wants to stand there? Why is that trending in politics? And I'm worried how much this is going to be a problem because we saw if ESPN ever had a lag moment, Dana on the press conference was like, we're having a chat with ESPN after this. We're going to talk to those kids. He was getting after them, trying to hold them accountable. And while Paramount has had cool hype when it comes to the face-off and some of its card building, like their posters are relatively good. They've done a lot more color dynamics that ESPN didn't do. I kind of miss ESPN in a way because the commercials were better. I'll be honest. If I'm nitpicking, this is something we're going to talk about here because I think, is aura a stat? If you've watched any UFC event this year, you get what I just said because every ad in this world is a gambling ad now because gambling has been so normalized, even though it's literally illegal to do physically, but over your phone you can do it anywhere all the time and you can bet on any historical event in history. It's just ridiculous. I mean, everything is an ad. Half of it's AI. When we had ESPN, we had fighter things like hang with Dustin Poirier. Is it you coming to the after party tonight? That would be so helpful, Steven. Like annoying but funny moments, genuine. You had fighter interaction. You felt some sort of connection with these commercials, which it sounds so stupid. I sound like such a fucking loser. But if you're looking at the human condition, commercials do kind of like make TV. If you think back to your childhood, some of the biggest commercials, you remember Danimals, Nerf, the Lego City, how that guy felt. Like, I'm naming big examples, and it's the same thing with the UFC. There's a bit of memorabilia when it comes to these commercials, especially if they include fighters. But now, half of these commercials are AI, and they're just gambling ads. So the commercial base has all changed too, and I think that annoys fans even more. And these are just more and more tweets about how it crashed. I mean, in the middle of round 3 of UFC 326 in the big 2026 with all these it's a 7 point, I'm like going off here. It's a $7.7 billion deal. They're not paying the fighters. And if you can pay a company $7.7 billion, you think you'd have enough money in your own pocket to fix your camera crew and your lighting issue. ESPN has one of the slickest camera crews. They had one of the best audios. Every time a ref was having a talk with a fighter or there was something going on behind the scenes, the doctor was whispering in the ear. We could hear it. The mic was loud. It was clear. It was crisp audio. We got context. We figured out what was going on. Here, you're not even going to know if the fight's happening because you can't see it. And it's not like this is just something that's like, oh, this just happened. It's not going to happen again. No, this has happened every card. Every single card that we have had has had lag, has had crashes, has had audio, has had cameramen pointing away from the cage at some random person. I don't understand it. I mean, billions, millions of dollars on the line. You set these things up months in advance. You get a specialized team. People get hired. They have to apply. They have to have credibility, experience, knowledge of cameras, how to operate this. And we consistently get this much technical failure. I miss ESPN, man. And I think a lot of people do. We thought going into Paramount, it was going to be big fights. Dana said we're having 4 huge events per year. And I'll be honest, most of the cards have been underwhelming. If you see my White House video that's going to come out before this one is, I just recorded it 10 minutes ago. The biggest event in history, bigger than the Sphere, costs more than the Sphere, is underwhelming. Like, UFC 300 was better than what the White House is going to be. So it feels like we're getting this whole show of new company, new payday, more fighter pay, more expansion, more promo, but it's all diminished in quality. And I think as a UFC fan, that kind of, it's not just the fights that make the sport, it's the environment, it's the business model. We don't recognize that, but subliminally, that's kind of what's going on. Because even if some of the fights do deliver, the quality of the stream, the quality of the broadcaster, Joe Rogan yapping about steel cups, the quality has diminished so much that the product is almost unenjoyable. And I sound like the biggest diva here. I sound like the McDonald's CEO talking about the product. Sorry, my hair's pissing me off. I'm balding and I just want to hide my spots. But it's just like, what do we do? We're kind of in a sinking ship here, and even big media outlets are talking about, when is Dana going to admit that something is wrong with the UFC? When is Dana going to admit that this is kind of a sinking ship that can still be patched and come back to the surface, but he's not. It feels like he's poking more holes through the hole, trying to get it down to the bottom as fast as he can. I mean, he's doing boxing, signing guys for one-off fights with people nobody knows. What's his name? Reggie Progerius? Like, he's got credibility, but in the UFC world, and even in the boxing world, I've seen fans say, who? Nobody knows him. And what is he paying him? $15 million for a one-off fight. In every way, shape, and form, this Paramount era has honestly been underwhelming. And I know that a lot of my videos are talking about how things are underwhelming, and you can say I'm just whining and unappreciative. But I think if I'm willing to pay for a product, if I've consistently enjoyed this product, if there's been changes with this product and I've remained a loyal fan, I think that there's 100%, I think I'm 100% right in being able to whine and complain on the internet and talk to you guys and see if you agree with me that this is kind of bullshit. We're getting spoon-fed slop here, like, and the quality's only going to diminish. I mean, you see Ronda Rousey making headlines just shitting on the UFC, shitting on the UFC White House, fighter pay, Dana White himself, and people are agreeing with them. Mainstream outlets are agreeing with them. Ronda Rousey in the big 2026 is making a good point. I digress. Let me know if I'm just yapping here, if I'm just going off on some emotional tirade, but I truly do think that this Paramount era was psyched up to be, we're getting out of ESPN, we're getting out of the little technical difficulties we had, we're getting out of some of these horrible Apex Fight Night matchups. Nope. Just under new management, more of a lateral shift, I think they say. So let me know what you think about that. If you agree, give me more reasons that I failed to mention here. If you disagree, call me an idiot and tell me why. I always love the engagement, and I'm always going to respond to you guys, whether jokingly or seriously. And yeah, man, let's hope things get better. See ya.